Welcome! In this playthrough of Marvel Champions of Card Game, we have Spectrum teaming up with Black Widow to take on an Expert Green Goblin in the mutagen formula. So for our villain setup, we have two main schemes. First one is letting us know how we're getting this set up, and we're using the Goblin gimmicks along with the Expert cards. For setup, we're going to put a Goblin Thrall minion into play engage with each player. And on this side, we have a threshold of 7 per player. It comes in with 2 per player in it and 1 completed. And player order, each player not engaged with a Goblin minion must discard 3 cards from a counter deck and put the first Goblin minion they discarded this way into play engage with them. Green Goblin starts with a scheme of 2 and attack of 2. When revealed, deal 2 encounter cards to each player. And as a force response, after he attacks and damages you, place a threat on the main scheme, and then you is our identity. And 18 health per player. And the Goblin Thralls, scheme of 1, attack of 1, 3 health, and they have guard. For heroes, we have Spectrum going with aggression and Black Widow going power of justice. Spectrum has a thwart of 1, attack of 1, and defense of 1. Energy transformation, force response. After you change to this form, choose a face down energy form upgrade. Flip that card face up to change to that energy form. Hand size of 5 and 11 hit points. On this side, recovery of 3. Put all 3 energy forms into play face down. Force response, after you change to this form, turn your energy form upgrades face down. So all of these are basically, they're going to get +2 to either attack, thwart, or defense. And for Gamma, after you change to this form, deal a damage to an enemy. Photon, after you change to that form, remove a threat from a scheme. And Pulsar, changing to this form, you heal a damage from Spectrum. With the aggression cards, we have 2 power of aggression, Hall of Heroes, Lie in Wait, 3 piercing strikes, or 2 piercing strikes, 3 relentless assaults, 3 clobbers, Tigra, Throg, a bug, Marvel Boy, Spider-Girl, and Valkyrie. And our basics, we have our 3 resources, Deft Focus, Helicarrier, and 2 downtimes. Then for Black Widow, she has 2 for thwart, attack, and defense. Widowmaker's response, after you trigger the ability of a preparation card you control, deal a damage to an enemy, hand size of 5 and 9 health. Recovery of 3, mission prep. As a response, after you play a preparation card, draw a card, limit once per phase on this, no limit on the other one. Hand size of 6 on this side. Then we're going with 2 power of justice, counterintelligence, under surveillance, 3 spycraft, 3 clear the areas, Quake, Agent Coulson, Wiccan, Eros, Quasar, and Wraith. And our basics, we have 1 of each of the resources, Espionage, Target Acquired, Helicarrier, Quincarrier, and 2 Endurance. All right, so finishing our setup, we shuffle the encounter deck, and due to the timing, our obligations are not in here. At the point, we deal 2 encounter cards to each player. So 2 for Monica, 2 for Natasha. Then we'll take our obligations and shuffle those in. Then we can set up our heroes. So for Monica, 6 cards. And since we're going to end up with 6 encounter cards, I definitely would like to get some allies in here because we'll probably get attacked more than once. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So strength, pulsar shield, power of aggression, downtime, energy duplication, and a helicarrier. We definitely want some resources. Keep that and hope we get an ally. Yep, so Spider-Girl can come in. So there's our 6 there. And for Natasha, same thing, hoping to get at least 1 ally in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, Endurance, Covert Ops, Espionage, Genius, Spycraft, and Power of Justice. The additional health would be nice, but we got bigger things to worry about. So more Power of Justice, Wraith, a grappling hook, and a Widow's Bite. All right. So first we're going to flip over and go into Gamma form, giving us +2 attack. After you change to this form, deal a damage to an enemy. Then we're going to attack for 3. take care of this thrall. Spider Girl's going to come in. After you play her from your hand, stun and confuse a minion. So stun and confuse, but then just getting knocked out. Bring in energy duplication as a hero resource. Exhaust it. Generate the printed resource when your face-up energy form upgrade. Then speed of light. Change energy forms and draw a card. We are going to go Photon. After you change to this form, remove a threat from a scheme. And draw into a Gamma Blast. And that's not going to help us, so done there. So on this side, we're going to play a Grappling Hook. It's an upgrade, preparation. Hero Interrupt. When you reveal a treachery card, discard this, cancel the effects of that treachery, and discard it. And after you play a preparation card, we're going to draw a card into Agent Coulson. Then we're going to bring in Agent Coulson. 4/2, attack of 1/3 health. After your enters play, search your deck and discard pile for a preparation card and add it to your hand. We'll bring in Spycraft. Then we're going to use that to help bring in Wraith. 4/1, attack 3/3 health. When a boost card is turned face up, exhaust him to deal a damage to him. Cancel that card's boost effect. Then we'll go ahead and flip over. We'll have him thwart for 2. Have him attack for 3. Down to 33, and then attack for 2, down to 31. And ender turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Another Grappling Hook, Dance of Death, Quasar, Spycraft, and clearing the area. Over here, we're going to keep the Pulsar Shield. Relentless Assault, Deft Focus, a Bug, and a Throg. So Goblin gets 2 threats. Then attacking here, defending. So 3 damage. Attacking over here and defending. Put Goblin Thrall into play engaged with you. And then attacking for 1. And now the fun part. More encounter cards. All right, first one. Goblin Soldier. Schema 1, attack 1, 5 health. When defeated, deal a damage to the engaged player. Goblin Knight. Schema 2, attack 2, 7 health. Force response. After he attacks you, discard a card from the counter deck. If that card is a Goblin minion, put it in play engage with you. And Green Goblin attacks with +X attack, where X is equal to the villain's stage number. So he's attacking for base 1, 2, 3, 4. Just have Coulson jump in the way and defend that. Villain heals 2 damage to 33. And then over here, attach the villain, force response. To the villain attacks you, discard pumpkin bombs and take 2 indirect damage. As hero action, we can spend 2 physical resources to discard it. Goblin reinforcements. When revealed, place an additional threat here for each goblin minion in play. Goblin, goblin, goblin. So 5 threat on that. And we are going to grappling hook this. So when you reveal treachery, discard this, cancel the effects, and discard it. And after you trigger the ability of a preparation card you control, deal a damage to an enemy. We're going to start trying to take him out and pass first player. All right, we're going to do a Dance of Death over here. It's a hero action. Make the following 3 attacks in order. Deal a damage to an enemy, then deal 2 damage, then deal 3. So we're doing a total of 6 damage. We're going to put all that over here to defeat him. Then we're going to thwart for 2. and flip over. Then we're going to thwart for 3. Then we're going to bring in Throg, thwart 1, attack for 2/2 health. After he enters play, give him a tough status if you're engaged with a minion. And we are engaged. Then we'll use that to create a resource to bring in Deft Focus. It's a hero action, exhaust it, reduce the resource cost of the next superpower card you play this turn by 1. Then we're going to end our turn. We're going to keep Bug for Spectrum and Quasar for Natasha. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more cards. So we've got our Synth Suit, Target Acquired, Quinn Carrier, Energy, and another Dance. And over here, Tigra, Photon Speed, Pulsar Shield, and a Hall of Heroes. So 2 threat. Attacking over here, defending for 1, 2. Put this guy in play. Then we're going to take 2 indirect damage. We'll put 1 there and we'll take 1. And then each of those is going to hit us for 1, so we're down to 8. Scheming over here for base 2, 3, and then a 4th. And encounter cards, another soldier, and another thrall. All right. Well, we're going to make our superpower 1 cheaper. Photon speed, change to photon energy form. We already are. Remove 4 threat from a scheme. If you're already in photon energy, ignore the crisis icon for this thwart. So we're moving 4. Then we're going to thwart for 3. Then we're going to bring in a Bug. Thwart 1, attack 1, 2 health. After hero makes a basic attack, heal a damage from him. He is going to thwart for 1. We're going to go ahead and flip over. We're going to flip over. Now that we're an Avenger, we can bring in a Quinn Carrier. Has a resource, exhaust it to generate a wild resource. Use that to bring in our Synth Suit. We get +1 defense. After you trigger the ability of preparation card you control, exhaust that to ready Black Widow. And attack for 2. End her turn. We'll keep Hall of Heroes, Lion Weight, Genius, Energy, Marvel Boy, and Blue Marvel. Endurance, Counterintelligence, Attack Acrobatics, Wiccan, and Safe House. 2 threat. Schemed on for 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3. Attacked. Throg's going to defend for Black Widow. And then hit for 2. Counter cards. Another Goblin Soldier. Got a minion problem for sure. Goblin Nation. Each Goblin enemy gets +1 attack. And pass first player. All right, we're going to bring in Wiccan. Thwart 1, attack 1, 3 health. After he thwarts, discard the top card of the counter deck. For each boost icon discarded this way, deal a damage to an enemy. It's going to thwart for 1. And then deal 3 damage somewhere. We'll go ahead and get rid of this one. Then we're going to thwart for 2. Use the Quinn Carrier to bring this in. When a boost card is turned face up, discard this. Cancel the boost icons on that card. Deal a damage to the villain for each boost icon canceled this way. And as much as I would like to heal her, we can't. We are going to flip over and go Gamma. Actually, yeah, Gamma, deal a damage to an enemy. Well, before we flip over, let's rethink this. We'll bring in Hall of Heroes first. Response: after you defeat a minion, place a glory counter here. Alter Ego action. Exhaust this, remove 3 glory counters from it to draw 3 cards. Then we'll flip over, going to Gamma, changing form, dealing a damage to an enemy to defeat that thrall. Gets us a counter. Then we'll bring in Blue Marvel. After he enters play, change energy forms. We are going to go Photon, remove a threat from a scheme. And then Thwart for 3. And Thwart for 2 more. Then Lie in Wait. It's a hero response. After a minion engages you, discard Lie in Wait to deal 3 damage to that minion. And Ender turn. All right, we're going to keep Safe House, Winter Soldier, Helicarrier, clear the area, and our Gauntlet. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Speed of Light, Piercing Strike, Clobber, Strike, and Energy Duplication. So 2 more threat, up to 7. Getting attacked over here. We're going to defend. So it's a base 2, 3, 4. But we are going to, when a boost card's turn face up, discard this, cancel the boost icons, deal damage to the villain for each one canceled this way. So that's going to deal 2. Back to 31. Then we played a preparation card, which is going to deal a damage somewhere. And after you trigger the ability on a prep card, exhaust that to ready. Then that guy's going to hit us for 1. And over here, Bug defends. Base 2, 3. Then we get hit for 3, down to 5. Ouch. And counter cards. Been overrun. Yes, we have. Player order. Each player must discard 2 cards from the counter deck and put each goblin minion they discarded this way into play engaged with them. So Black Widow gets a Thrall. And that's nice. We get nothing. Now a Goblin Glider. Attach to the enemy with the highest hit points. Out another Glider. Your action, spend 2 energy to discard it, +1 attack. And pass first player. All right, we're going to use that to bring in another energy duplication. We're going to Thwart for 2. Thwart for 3. Speed of Light, change forms and draw a card. We are going to go Gamma, dealing a damage. Draw into a Gamma Blast. Use Deft Focus to help pay for a Gamma Blast. Change to Gamma Energy form. We're already in that form. Deal 7 damage to an enemy. If you're already in a form, this attack gains Overkill. So we're going to beat this guy up. He's soaked up 5. 2 breaks through, down to 29. When he's defeated, deal a damage to the engaged player, down to 4. And I think we need to flip. All right, we're going to Thwart for 1. And deal 1 damage somewhere. Thwart for 2. I think we're going to flip over. Use the Quinn Carrier for Safe House. After you go action, exhaust it, choose a preparation card in your discard pile and add that card to your hand. I think we're going to get the Widow's Bite. Then we'll bring in our Gauntlet. There's a resource, exhaust it to generate a wild resource for a preparation card. Then we'll use that to bring in our Bite. After minion enters play, discard Widow's Bite, deal 2 damage to that minion and stun it. Allows us to draw a card. Then we'll bring in Attack Acrobatics. We've seen that one before, canceling the boost icons. And that's going to be our turn. Keeping Winter Soldier. So we've got some strength, clearing the area, quake, under surveillance, and some covert ops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Clobber, relentless assault ×2, power of aggression, photon speed, and a downtime. All those are useful, that's for sure. So 2 threat. Scheming for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And scheming for 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, let's start at 1, 2, 3. Takes us to 12. Then 13 and 14, the magic number. Bummer. When completed, in player order, each player not engaged with a goblin minion must discard 3 cards from the deck and put the first goblin minion they discarded this way into play engaged with them. Well, we have plenty of goblin minions. So we are done with that. So we just advance to the next one. Threshold of 22. X is equal to the number of goblin enemies. It comes in with 8 threat on it. And encounter cards. The Goblin Glider, he's already got one, so we'll just put it on this one. And reinforcements. When revealed, place an additional threat here for each goblin in play. Goblin minion, so an additional 4, so 6 on that. Entering panic mode. All right, Safe House. To go looking for a preparation card. Then use the Gauntlet to bring this into play, which triggers us drawing a card into a Widow's Bite. Then we're going to heal for 3, up to 8. Flip over. Use that to bring in a Widow's Bite. We have 4 preparation cards in play. So Winter Soldier comes in for free. Reduce the cost to play him by 1 for each preparation card you control. And he's going to come in and thwart for 2. So we're not a form at the moment. See, under surveillance, because we're going to need it. Attach to the main scheme, increase the target threat value of the scheme by 4. Then we're going to bring in a Quake. Thwart to 1, attack for 2, 2 health. After a minion schemes, exhaust her to deal 2 damage to that minion. So attacking for 2 here. And then Wiccan's going to thwart for 1. And deal 0 damage somewhere. Bummer. All right, I think we're done with everything she can do. On this side, use that to bring in a downtime, giving us +2 recovery to recover for 5. So we're up to 9. Then flip over. Going into Gamma form, dealing a damage to an enemy. Going to use Deft Focus and our energy duplication. Change to photon energy. Remove a threat from a scheme. And remove 4 threat from a scheme. Then Relentless Assault with Overkill, dealing 5 damage. 2 gets soaked up here. 3 breaks through, down to 26. And we get our 3rd token down here. That's going to be our turn. We are going to keep Relentless. No, we're going to keep them both. Another Clobber, Valkyrie, and a Gamma Blast. Over here, Gauntlet, Arrows, Spycraft, extra encounter card, 2 more cards coming. And Espionage and clearing the area. All right, Goblin enemies, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're up to 10. Attacking over here for base 3. What do we have? We've got 2 after minions interplay. All right, we're going to defend. And we have 1 on here. We are going to deal a damage to the villain for that. Down to 25. Then for using that, we get to deal a damage somewhere. And ready. Then a hit for 1 and 2, down to 6. Then getting attacked over here. And Quake is going to take that one for 3, 4. Then attacking for 1, down to 8. And counter cards. Give Demonica Rambeau. She cannot change forms. As an alter ego action, exhaust her to remove this from the game. So she's stuck in photon form for a while. Then we get a Goblin Thrall in play. And to that, after minion enters play, discard this, deal 2 damage to that minion and stun it. And then we can deal a damage to an enemy. I'm just going to go ahead and finish him off. And when revealed, the villain heals X damage, where X is equal to double the villain's stage number. So he's going to heal 4 up to 31. It's like we're not even doing anything. Pass first player. All right, Deft Focus in both of these. Maybe. Yeah, we want that guy going. We're going to do this. Change the gamma form. We actually can't, but we can deal 7 damage to an enemy. To defeat that, then we're going to take a damage down to 7 and get a counter. Then Relentless Assault, dealing 5 damage with Overkill. Let's see. We're going to take this one out. So he soaks up 2. 3 is breaking through. Down to 28. Does a damage back here. And we get another counter. Then we're going to flip over and exhaust to remove this from the game. Exhaust this to draw 3 cards, which is going to get a Speed of Light, Photon Speed, And an encounter card. And something else. Relentless Assault. Then we're going to spin those. 4-1, attack of 2, 3 health. After she enters play, we get to deal 3 damage to an enemy or a minion since we paid an energy resource, which is going to be enough to take that out. Then we're going to thwart for 2. And then a thwart for 1. Thwart for 2. Thwart for 2. Bring in arrows. Thwart 2, attack 1, 2 health. After you play him from hand, confuse a minion. It's none in play, but he's good at thwarting for 2. Then we're going to bring in our other gauntlet with the Quinn Carrier. And end her turn. I'll go ahead and keep that. Covert Ops, Endurance, Wraith, Power of Justice. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Speed of Light, Power of Aggression, Downtime, Piercing Strike, Photon Speed, and a Pulsar Shield. 1 Goblin in play. Scheming for 2. 3. This card gets an additional boost icon if at least 1 Goblin minion is engaged with you. It isn't. So 3 threat. Attacking over here. Arrows defends. After this activation ends, shuffle this card into the encounter deck. And encounter cards. Surge and reveal the top card of the encounter deck. There's our Surge and next card. The Villain Schemes for 2, 3. Choose to either spend 2 resources of any type or give the villain a face-down boost card. We're going face-down boost. And when revealed, you're stunned. If you're already stunned, take 2 damage. The villain attacks you. That's going to be Winter Soldier. 1, 2, 3, 4. And put him into play. And part of that boost is a Widow's Bite, dealing 2 damage to the minion and stunning it. And we're going to deal a 3rd damage to just go ahead and kill it. And pass first player. We are getting nowhere very slowly. All right, we're going to use the Quinn Carrier to help pay for Covert Ops. Remove 4 threat from a scheme and confuse the villain. Then we're going to flip and heal for 3, up to 8. Use a safe house to get attack Acrobatics in her hand. Then use Widow's Bite to play it. Allows us to draw a card. To the Power of Justice, spin those to bring in Wraith. And attack for 3. Then I'm going to heal for 5, up to 11. Flip over in a second. Attack for 2. Flip over. Going to Gamma form. Not an attack. After you change form, deal a damage to an enemy. It's going to be enough to defeat. Piercing Strike as an attack. Gets rid of stunned. Deft Focus and Energy Duplication. Change to Photon Energy form, which will remove a threat, and then you're going to remove 4 threat from a scheme. Change energy forms and draw a card. We'll go back to Gamma, dealing a damage. Draw into a Gamma Blast. And with Energy Duplication, Gamma Blast dealing 7 damage to an enemy, and we've got Overkill, but all right, down to 20. And I don't remember if I had a threat at the beginning of the turn, so it would have been 1 because of him, plus 1. We did remove an extra. So I think that gets us back in right. And end your turn. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Shield, Aggression, Helicarrier, Clobber, and a shield. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Dance of Death, clear the area, grappling hook, spycraft, target acquired, and another dance. So 2 threats. Scheming, loses confused. Attacking, Valkyrie defends, base 3, 4, 5, and shuffle this back in. And counter cards. Soldier coming into play. And he's going to scheme for 1, 2, just 2. All right. Over here. Clobber, deal 3 damage to an enemy. If this is the first card, take this back to our hand. Then we're going to use both of those, along with that Clobber, to bring in a Helicarrier. It's an action. We can choose a player to reduce the cost of the next card they play. Then we're going to attack to get rid of that. Get another counter. Flip over. Then on this side, safe house. For Widow's Bite, bring that into play there. Allows us to draw a card into Covert Ops, awesome. Flip over. We're going to remove 4 threat from a scheme and confuse the villain. Quinn Carrier. Clear the area, removing 2 threat from a scheme. If this removes the last threat on the scheme, draw a card. Into a Spycraft. Then we're going to bring in a grappling hook because it's a little bit better than a Spycraft. And attack for 2. Down to 18. And keep a Spycraft in hand. Oh, wait. Helicarrier. We could have made... Go ahead and bring that into play. No need to hold on to it. Use that to make that card cheaper. All right, we're going to pitch those, drawing 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bug, Gamma Blast, Relentless Assault, Speed of Light, another Relentless Assault, and a Clobber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Helicarrier, Genius, Quasar, Energy, and another Grappling Hook. 2 threat. Scheme, Lose Confused. Attack, base of 3. Defend. 3 damage coming in. Attack, Acrobatics. Deal 3 damage to the villain. +1 for that. So down to 14. And ready with her synth suit. Counter cards. We're Overrun. When defeated in player order, each player must discard 2 cards from the counter deck and put a goblin minion on top. Then a goblin thrall, who's going to get a Widow's Bite, doing 2 damage to it. And one over here. 13 and pass first player. All right, we're going to thwart for 2. And no minions there. And a thrall over here. And with those, bring in a grappling hook. Then with the Quinn Carrier, bring in Quasar. Thwart 1, attack of 2, 3 health. After your endless play, remove a threat from each scheme in play. And attack for 2. Request an action over here to make our next card 1 cheaper, to bring in our Helicarrier. Then over here, we're going to use that, spending 3 to draw 3 cards, Energy, Clobber, and Throg. Then we're going to flip over, going into Gamma form, dealing a damage to an enemy, which will defeat and get us another counter. Then our first card actually played, deal 3 damage to an enemy. If this is the first card you played this round, return it to her hand. Actually, no. Going to use both of those, which are physicals for Relentless Assault, dealing 5 damage to a minion, and it's got Overkill. So soaks up 1. 4 breaks through, down to 9. And we get another counter. Deft Focus with Energy. Change to Gamma form, we already are. Deal 7 damage to an enemy. Down to 2. Bring in Throg. Thwart 1, attack for 2 and 2 health. Attack for 2. Finishes this version. And now, Real Madness. Scheme of 2, attack of 3. Reveal, deal 3 encounter cards to each player. Force response after he attacks and damages you. Place 2 threat on the main scheme and 20 health per player. All right, hard to believe all this time, and that just took care of half of what we need to do. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then we will attack for 3 on the 37. Speed of Light, change forms and draw a card. Going Photon, removing a threat from a scheme. Draw into Tigra, playing a bug, and attacking for 1. And end her turn. One, two, three, four, five. Coulson, Wiccan, clear the area, counterintelligence and endurance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Don't know why that was hiding down there. Pumpkin bombs from a long time ago. That should probably be shuffled in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Strength, piercing strike, genius, photon speed, and a spider girl. All right, 2 threat. Attacking over here. Bug is going to defend. Base 4, 5, an extra activation, 6, 7. Bug took that hit. Attacking over here. Throg defends for base 4, 7. And counter cards. First one, burn notice. That's not good. May flip to alter ego. Let's see. If not, discard the preparation card you control at the highest cost. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Highest cost preparation is a grappling hook. Then the villain schemes. Not terrible. 1, 2, 3, 4. Deal a damage, well, after he's defeated. Got nothing for that. And another minion, and then over here, when revealed, place an additional threat here for each goblin minion in play, so that's getting 4. That's the nasty one. And of course, these are when you reveal, not when your buddy does. So Radioactive Man comes in. Scheme of 1, attack of 1, 6 health. After he activates against you, deal damage to each character you control. See, when defeated, deal damage to each friendly character in play. That's nasty. 4 threat. And shuffle these 3 in. Discard an upgrade or support you control. Oh, should have done 3 damage there. We're going to lose downtime. And the bombs are out. And we pass first player. All right, we're going to piercing strike, dealing 3 damage to an enemy. It's going to be that guy. Then use deft focus and an energy duplication to change to a form we already are to remove 4 threat from a scheme. And that deals the damage to each friendly character. Down to 10, down to 7. Spider Girl comes in after you play from her hand, stun and confuse a minion. And thwarting for 1, thwarting for 3. Going to make the next card over here 1 cheaper, along with the Quinn Carrier to bring in Wiccan. He's going to do his thing of thwarting and dealing 0 damage somewhere. Use those to bring in counterintelligence. When any amount of threat would be placed on the main scheme, we can prevent 3 of that. Make our next card 1 cheaper to to bring in Agent Coulson, and he gets to go looking for a preparation card. Which is going to be a grappling hook. And then a thwart for 2. And attack for 2. And that's going to be our turn. So we're going to keep that, get a strength, get an encounter card, and shuffle 3 more cards coming. Wraith, Arrows, and a Widow's Bite. And over here, Marvel Boy and a Gamma Blast. And 3 more cards. Make sure we're not hiding any more encounter cards. Relentless Assault, Pulsar Shield, and a Speed of Light. And I might as well check in here to make sure there's no blue cards hiding. All right. But now we're getting 4 threat. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're getting attacked. Spider-Girl's defending for base 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at the right card. 5. Then we're going to take 2 indirect damage. Down to 8. Then attacking over here, Quasar defends. Or, yes. For 3. The villain heals 2, up to 38. Blue stunned. Attacks for 1. And counter cards. Each goblin enemy gets +1 attack. And the Goblin Knight is back. Goblin Reinforcements. Place an additional threat here for each goblin in play. So it's going to be Goblin Minion. 5 on this one. And Overrun. When defeated, some bad things are going to happen. And pass first player. I'm going to use that to bring in Widow's Bite. Coulson's going to thwart for 2. Then in player order, each player is going to discard 2 cards and put each goblin minion they discarded this way into play engaged with them. So here first, none. And then here, none. Wiccan is going to thwart for 1. And deal 0 damage again. Widow's going to thwart for 2. We are going to Quinn Carrier to help bring in Euros. To play him from your hand, confuse a minion for each mental resource. We'll use that wild as a mental. To confuse, and then he'll thwart for 2. Then we're going to flip over, bring in a preparation card, which is going to allow us to draw a card to a target acquired. Then we can use our other gauntlet to bring this into play. Hero response: after boost card is turned face up, discard this, cancel that card's boost ability. So we've got quite a bit of preparation things we can start triggering. Next turn, we are going to thwart for 3. Change form and draw a card. We'll change to Gamma, maybe. Yeah. Dealing a damage there. Make your next card over here 1 cheaper. Bring in Marvel Boy. Thwart to 0. Attack for 2, 2 health. When he attacks, spend a physical resource. This attack gains piercing and ranged. He's going to swing for 2 there. Make your next card 1 cheaper. And with Deft Focus and a Pulsar Shield, Gamma Blast. Change to Gamma form, we already are, so this attack deals 7 damage and it has Overkill. Soaks up 5. Two breaks through, down to 36. We get another counter. And I believe we're done. One, two, three, four, 5. Power of Aggression, Relentless Assault, Clobber, Blue Marvel, and another Clobber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Power of Justice, Covert Ops, Clear the Area, Endurance, Winter Soldier, and a Quake. So we're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4 threat. Scheming over here for base 2, 3. And these lose Confused. Attack over here for base 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And counter cards. Discard X cards from the counter deck where X is equal to double the villain's stage number. Each time a Goblin minion is discarded this way, choose to either take 3 damage or put that minion into play engage with you. Are all these hero response? Hero interrupt. Spycraft is not. I'm not a fan of that. So we're going to cancel it and get a different one. When revealed, Alter Ego. Place 2 threat on the main scheme. So we're at 11, 13. And a Goblin Soldier comes in, and we pass first player. All right, attacking for 3 here. And that's going to deal 1 damage to the engaged player. Give us another token. I'm going to Clobber, deal 3 damage to an enemy. It's a first card, so this goes back to her hand. Then use those. They're physical resources. Overkill, 5 damage to a minion. Soaks up 2, 3 breaks through. Down to 33. Get another token. Make our next card 1 cheaper. Blue Marvel. We can change forms with him. Photon. Remove a threat from a scheme. Oh, yes. And then we're going to thwart for 2. Natasha. Let's see. Safe House. The only thing we have is a Spycraft now. Get that back in our hand. Then go ahead and play it so we can draw a card. Then recover for 3. Up to 8. Flip over. Winter Soldier is going to be free. Oops, too many people out here. Wiccan is going to thwart for 1. See if he does any damage this time. Nope. Winter Soldier comes in. He's going to attack for 2. Arrows thwarts for 2. Make our next card 1 cheaper, and a helicarrier or a Quinn carrier. To clear the area, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If that removes the last threat on that, draw a card. And the Covert Ops. We will use that to remove 4 threat from a scheme and confuse the villain. And bring in Quake to attack for 2. Down to 31. And end our turn. Keep Endurance, Spycraft, Widow's Bite, another Spycraft, and clear the area. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gamma Blast, Piercing Strike, Genius, Downtime, and a Bug. Two threat. Attacking over here. Quake is going to defend for us for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then attacking over here. Coulson jumps in front of that one and doesn't survive. And 1 encounter card. Another one of those. Do some shuffling. Just keeping the status quo here. Making a little progress. All right, Goblin attacks you. If you are in alter ego form, do not give the villain a boost card for that. So he's attacking Spectrum for base 4. We're going to have Black Widow defend. So 4, 5 damage. We are going to attack Acrobatics, dealing a damage back, +1 for that. So down to 29. Also, Synth Suits to ready. It did deal a damage to us, which means 2 threat on the scheme. Then over here, when defeated, deal damage to each friendly character. It comes in with 4 threat. And I really have nothing to do for her. She's going to, well, he's going to thwart for 2. Then I'm going to Quinn Carrier to clear the area, removing 2 threat. Drawing a card into Dance of Death. Deal a damage to each friendly character in play. So he'll take 1. He goes up to 3. Down to 7. Down to 6. We're going to bring in a Widow's Bite. Reduce the cost of our next card. Dance of Death to deal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. Down to 23. Attack for 2. Down to 21. Make the next card we play over here 1 cheaper to bring in Endurance, giving us +3 health. Up to 9. And we're going to thwart for 3. Use all those for a Gamma Blast. Change to gamma form, deal 7 damage to an enemy. And then we're changing to gamma form, so it's going to be a total of 8 damage. Down to 13. Then piercing strike to deal 3 more damage. Down to 10. Flip over, draw 3 cards. Pulsar shield, a gamma blast, and some energy. We'll use the energy to bring in a bug, and he will thwart for 1. And we'll bring in a downtime and throw that over here. And end your turn. All right, keeping the Gamma Blast. 5 more cards. Piercing Strike, Speed of Light, Lion Weight, Clobber, and Power of Aggression. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Power of Justice, Dance of Death, Espionage, Genius, and I clear the area. So we're going to get 3 threat. Attacking over here. Bug is going to jump in front of that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then scheming over here, loses Confused. And counter cards. Got a monster. When revealed, you're stunned. If you're already stunned, take 2 damage. And our hero response after minion enters play, it's going to be an attack to get rid of stunned. And we did not trigger the ability. I think we can do it again if we had the card. All right, and then over here, choose to either spend 2 resources or give the villain a face-down boost. All right, pass first player. All right, Monica's going to draw 3 cards. Frog, Downtime, and a Speed of Light. We're going to go to Gamma form as we flip over, dealing a damage somewhere. Down to 9. Then Gamma Blast with these. We've got 7 damage and overkill. We'll beat that guy up, which takes him down to 8. Speed of Light, change form and draw a card. We'll go Photon. Draw into Tigra. Speed of Light again. Back to Gamma, deal a damage. Down to 7. Draw into Photon Speed. Then attack for 3. And request an action over here from Black Widow because she's anxious to do the actual Dance of Death. Dealing 1 damage to an enemy, then 2 damage to an enemy, and then 3 damage to an enemy. And that's going to be it for the Green Goblin, with Spectrum and Black Widow taking their sweet time playing around there. So as always, hope you enjoyed this playthrough. So please click on the like button below and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.